I made Police State 2000, Police State 2 The Takeover, and now Police State 3 Total Enslavement. And we went and showed you the Marines training to confiscate your guns, training with foreign troops, admittedly to put Americans in FEMA camps. And now they're announcing on television and radio stations and in major newspapers plans to round you up, plans to shut down cities, plans to put you in camps. They built these camps. And you say, why would they do that? Well, we're their slaves. They make money off us. Folks, they print the money. They create the financial system to get control of you. It's not a free market. It's a controlled criminal enterprise. They control the fascists. They control the communists. They control the system. They control the UN. They control the U.S. They control all these countries through their power in the central banks. And through my 8 films, especially Police State 2000 and Police State 2 The Takeover, and now with Police State 3 Total Enslavement, they're bringing it all together. We've shown you the training. I mean, I was there in '97 forecasting exactly what's happening now today with the thumb scanners going in the grocery stores, hooked up with the state police driver's license, which is a unit of the national ID card, hooked in with the UN calling for a world ID card. They set the system up, then announce it to you. The Project for a New American Century, founded in 1997, was run by Dick Cheney, Jeb Bush, Wolfowitz, and of course Secretary of Defense Donald Rumsfeld. And the Project for a New American Century called for a New World Order in its writings that can be viewed at their website. They said that there needed to be a, quote, Pearl Harbor event to speed up the New World Order and to get the American people behind a national draft and behind a war of aggression against 62 countries. A war that Bush has said will last generations. In fact, in one statement, he said 100 plus years. They went on to say that Saddam Hussein, this is in a 2000 dossier they wrote up, a 2000 battle plan, that Saddam Hussein wasn't a threat, but that he provided a convenient pretext to get the oil in Iraq. To understand, the invasion of Iraq was also not just about the 3 to 5 trillion in oil or the 1.7 to 1.9 trillion occupation cost of Iraq over the next 5 years. It was also about setting the precedent for the New World Order to invade sovereign nations. And if you think there's some rift between Bush and the UN, Bush and Blair have already announced that the UN will control the oil, the trillions of dollars of oil that the Iraqi people truly own. So again, playing good cop, bad cop, and we have them on the record saying, think about this, that they were going to go after Iraq. They needed a Pearl Harbor event to get the American people behind it. And the military-industrial complex, the CIA, certainly provided that on 9/11, September 11, 2001. But the New World Order also goes back into history. They orchestrated World War I, and they've bragged about it. And they tried to get their League of Nations, the first UN. When that failed, they needed a bigger war. And they certainly generated that with their asset, Adolf Hitler, who they funded and trained. In fact, I have the news articles out of large establishment East Coast newspapers from the early 1940s where the president's grandfather, George Bush's grandfather, Prescott Bush, actually was arrested and fined for trading with the enemy, running over 50% of Nazi steel production through Brown Brother Harriman.
This is the microchip that could one day be implanted under the skin of every single American.
Where's Rod Serling? It's like the Twilight Zone. Faces and eyes, rival password. It says soon. The new Microsoft systems already have integrated for a pass key to be activated, so you can't use computers or surf the net unless you thumb scan. And the government, the Pentagon, is discussing making you do this to get online. Road cameras raise arrest, push to take number plate scanners nationwide. From England to the U.S., they're scanning your license plates as you drive. Police cameras to spot hot cars. See, it was just for traffic reports. Now it's, oh, we're going to use it for law enforcement. Yeah. See how that works? In-car boxes, safety measure or spy tactic. And I admit, oh, these little boxes are already in all your cars. By the way, Homeland Security's hooked into these private billboards all over that tune into what you're listening to. Did you know that your radios in your car, AM and FM, actually transmit at a low level? And now Homeland Security tunes into what you're listening to. satellite system used by authorities to track suspects. Big Brother knows your medication. All over the country, all your medication purchases at the pharmacy are being uploaded to Homeland Security. Government openness at issue as Bush holds onto records. They're now making everything they do secret as they make everything we do public. And it's not just terror-related stuff. Use of drones in domestic surveillance advocated. They're already using them. Pentagon drones looking through our walls. Houston Chronicle. Agencies Homeland Security role for surveillance drones. Big Brother is watching farmers from the U.S. to Australia to Canada and to England. If you cut down one tree under the new environmental rules, the police come out and find you or arrest you. See, now this Cold War satellites are watching us. The classified document had been leaked to them by an unnamed source inside the federal government. The document consisted of a 33-page section-by-section analysis and the accompanying 87-page bill. And all this time, after they were caught, the White House tried to deny it.
There is not a proposed Terrorist Act 2.
Then it turned out the bill had actually already been introduced as S-22 by the Democrats. In fact, the title was almost identical. Whereas the House version was the Domestic Security Enhancement Act, the Senate version was the Justice and Domestic Security Enhancement Act of 2003. The only difference with the Senate version is it's full of gun control laws, like Our Lady of Peace Act that registers gun owners, a national ballistics database, shuts down private sellers at gun shows. It just dwarfs the 1968 Gun Control Act. And by the way, Republicans are supporting this legislation. We can't see your badge numbers. What is your badge number, officer? Sir, what is your badge number? Officer. Officer Black. Well, I can't tell if it's a police officer. Again, ladies and gentlemen, the announcements tell us that if they don't have a badge number, we'll present a badge. We don't know if they're police. You've heard about the women getting pulled over, the guy dressed up like a cop and getting raped. But we don't even know if these are police, ladies and gentlemen.